Alright Fruit Loops and Reddit mods, I'd like to spread awareness of a sickness going around where people in Champ Select just can't shut the f up when they don't see a MobaFire meta following pick on their team. For context, I've been playing a lot of Fiddlesticks APC lately. That's right, add me to the lawsuit Jimmy K. It's still a free country last I checked, and oh guess what, I'm having a hell of a lot more success on it than the meta picks in this piss pit state of low elo bot lane. But there is apparently another guarantee to this world in addition to death and taxes, and that some greasy finger virgin will open his mouth in Champ Select when you pick this before deciding that simply because you aren't playing meta, the game is all of a sudden unplayable, and in an attempt to prove their point that we can't win with this, they literally run it down before the first wave. Then we zoom forward to next game, and yeah sure, we have some chirpers immediately, which carries into in-game chat. This gets worse when the first fight goes poorly, which would have been a lot closer if your bald diabetic dock worker actually used his stun during the fight. But backseat aside, it was a bad play on your part, and now because you aren't on fucking Caitlyn or Kog'Maw, you have to defend yourself for the rest of the game. My jungler is now telling me that being 0-1 should be an uninstall, and despite the fact that I'm slowly clawing my way back into a game where I said we'll get better once I'm level 6, they are saying GG and wanting to FF 8 minutes in. I try to stay positive because I know from my own experience how strong this pick will take over mid-game, but unfortunately I can't outplay the fact that my Amumu is ulting jungle camps. My Pyke has completely stopped trying and admitted to it in chat, and my other teammate has flat out left the game. Now there are two ways you can handle the fact that this is how the community behaves around off-meta in today's world. The first is to beat these people at their own game and to be statistically mathematically on meta as possible. I'm talking tight butthole download a free helper app that gives you literally every stat on the planet for the current patch so that you can say you are playing the most approved meta champ for your role. As the picks roll it, you can show that you aren't playing what's fun to you. No, you are saying you are following a crafted algorithm that will give you the best marksman for this situation given everyone's pick on both teams. And then let's not even be crazy with our runes, we will go exactly what the data suggests is the best for this situation. While loading into the game, you see that your own support is bronze for some unknown reason, which makes the fights early an uphill battle considering you chose to play a meta marksman who is notoriously reliant on others early in the game. But hey, you are tryharding with your summoner spell trackers, your build suggestions, your data comparisons, and nothing can stop you. Except for the Chinese booster Echo on the other team that's legendary, and oh, by the time you get to the point in the game where a meta pick would start to scale, everyone else gives up and in the end it doesn't matter. But hey, if you want to use all these features anyways to improve your own game, featuring a comprehensive endgame report as well, thank Professor for sponsoring this video. Check them out below for free, and let's get into option 2. The other option is to acknowledge these pathetic little peckers in chat, but in a positive way, state the facts that the only reason this won't work is if they doubt its power. Here you will see I had some doubters, but I convinced them to give me a chance, and you know what a chance does for a coked up stripper with no other options who just wants to let out her inner haybag horror on some meta champs?
I'm the shadow in the lane. They call me crazy, but I'm bringing the pain. A scarecrow with a bow, it's a wild new show. Laugh all you want, but you don't even know. I train their hope, I train their pride. I'm the nightmare standing by your side. Fiddlesticks APC, you can't see me coming. In the brush, I wait, my ult is humming. 2v2, they fall and they scream too late. Don't fit me now, it's just fate.
Next lobby, ignore my YouTube studio in the background saying my Google Ads account is deactivated. Fuck me again I guess, but we stay at a 100% success rate in having someone have to open up their disgusting mouth in chat. But this time I just say that I love Fiddle and he's my favorite champ. Who can hate on a cutesy little comment like that? And guess how this one went. Level 3, he puts them in the crime scene construction tape off zone, and I do a bit of sucky wucky on this bitch with the balls. It ends in an even trade when admittedly a real ADC would have been better there, but I didn't get flamed and that opened the doors for me to blossom. We get a gank from Poro riding Peggy as the midget from Suicide Squad throws up a construction zone for me to whiff my whack. I then suck a hoe off to take her down while the little bonbon boy makes it an even trade. It's looking good until some blind kickboxer comes in, but here's the thing that makes Fiddle great in 2v2 fights bot is I can just plant up go scarecrow mode sucker extreme 9000 status and heal crazy amounts, which turns the tides of any shit fest at this point. So then it's just that midget rolling wontons at us, so I suck him off and wait for some weaponized hula hooper to finally come down and kill one of our own. I'm now level 6 though, which means when my team has a kill secured by 35 people on top of a dead support, I can port over the wall, use a 2-minute cooldown to make sure I get all the credit. Then fun fact, this pick requires much less gold than a traditional ADC because I really only need 3 items to call myself full build. If you disagree, just read this Challenger 70% win rate Fiddles post and then shove your own fucking foot in your mouth. But because of this I can waste tons of time sitting in a bush while heading up the party planning committee to plan a dank surprise that is sure to knock them down. This results in a little chase downriver, which is looking like a sure thing until Bandana Boy comes down trying to do kicky things on me, and despite my Vagar somehow finding a way to die in the process of me being the punching bag, my super sucker lands me on top. I've learned that the more autistic I am with how long I wait, the easier it is to catch an enemy off guard. Like there's no way in hell that Yunara thought a Fiddle would just sit in a bush and watch a full-blown fight almost break out 3 times right in front of him, but guess the fuck what, I did, and it worked. Long story short, there Lee comes down thinking I'm just like Fatty Scraps on a New York strip, free dog food status for him to be a greedy bastard, and I don't know if it's the cataracts or what, but he clearly didn't see my tower right there as he got absolutely embarrassed. Speaking of diving towers, for no reason I decided to do it knowing I wouldn't get a kill, but hoping that the dumbass syndrome I have will rub off on their ADC and make them do something like chase me into my ult, and sure enough it was contagious enough to work. I head up mid because apparently a full-blown party is going down and they forgot to hire a clown, so I said sure, I'm not the best one in terms of landing ults, but I will be there and I will make sure at some point everyone in attendance will have touched a balloon animal. Hey, did you hear the one about the blind man who walked into a bush? He couldn't see that there were 3 people and got murdered. LMFAO. Okay Rav, you don't need to repeat jokes, we've already heard the one about the monk who dove into danger like a dumbass, so unless he did it again it's bad taste to repeat the same joke. Anyways, I think the reason I like this pick is because everything about him is sloppier than a sandwich named after Joe. I kind of just roam around sucking people off and healing up, charging up ults that are not needed or poorly placed, enjoying the amenities that come from having a 3-second fear on a point and click ability, and thus the first time some typers in my chat give me the benefit of the doubt, look what happens. The next game was the first time no greasy pig typed when I locked in the pick, so I just knew it was going to be smooth. We had that Samira looking like a creme brulee under tower as we were cautious not to touch her under the laser equipped surveillance, but then once I could suck I sucked hard, which is also a quote from one of my favorite actresses. We welcomed 2v2s even if they were optimal because I knew ones that Rusty Ship Anchor Enthusiast had any CC on CD. I could just siphon life from both of them as we continue to extend the fights, knowing you will outsustain anyone in a bare knuckle Makora. Eventually the herpes-ridden German Shepherd comes down and a normal ADC would have been the victim in 8 scenes of Final Destination at this point, but people love to underestimate the longevity of someone with strong jaw-sucking muscles as I live to tell the story to my little hey babies one day. I get back to lane after a little itty-bitty shopping spree only to see that these dipshits overstayed their welcome, so I make sure the large purple geode has no escape route as he thinks the cove will keep him from getting cucked, but there's no avoiding the suck. Then if we fast forward here, you will see exactly how I like to play this piece of shit, and that's by being patient and suboptimal in my gameplay, which is enough to surprise any dude more than a visit from Chris Hansen when they were expecting coitus. I love me melee support matchups because if they insist on playing rock paper scissors, this matchup is like a fortune teller telling you they will pick scissors every time while my pick secretly rocks. We get an extended fight, which against a Samira with ult is usually a recipe for disaster, but my build path bakes in HP, which is sleeper OP at this point, as I offer to show her my ult aura as well, which is slightly stronger than hers. Anchor Andy then of course thinks he's going to be able to post on LinkedIn that his contributions result in a higher percentage of even trades for his teams, but unfortunately when I showed the images behind the Google search blue waffle he was too scared to execute. Anyways, I found that supports and junglers who don't flame me like a charboiled whopper tend to enjoy paying visits to my hometown, as I do complement ganks very nicely while being sturdy enough to survive any counter gank. I can also say 6 words that most ADCs have never said: I peeled for my team. Bitches as we take down the biological bitch in the process. Warwicks are of course used to ulting the carry and getting a free kill every time, but I'm deceptively tanky so it doesn't do jack shit except tickle, and then since I sensed a forfeit coming I floored the gas pedal down aggro avenue, which did ruin my perfect KDA over these 2 games, but hopefully you can see through my example that you should never ever judge an off-meta APC pick by its cover. Brush your teeth tonight. Rav out.